What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Portaway Podcast. Excited to be here as always inside the Blue Wire Studios. Here
Where's Carson?
The Wynn Hotel and Casino. Hey, Carson is back home, Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
Kicking it.
Was he?
Yeah.
You hanging out?
Yeah, he hanging.
He loves home that much, huh?
I was hanging with him yesterday. It was cool.
Well, you a traveler.
I'm a traveler.
You got a jet or something?
No.
You be on the move.
No, don't. Yeah, I mean.
How the miles looking?
If somebody wanted to throw a jet this way.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. How the miles looking?
No.
They up there?
They up there.
Okay.
They up there.
He's more of a traveler than Tyson Fury these days.
I sat next to an older guy today. I'm not going to, but he said, he saw me kind of tuck in my plane ticket. I don't know if y'all do this, but I took the plane ticket in like in a little pouch.
Yeah, I do too.
And I leave it in the moment, you know. Yeah. He says, you're not going to frame that? I said, you know, I mean, I've been flying for a long time. I wish I had my very first ticket. I wish I had started long ago. I said, but I never did. By the time I thought about doing something like that, I'd already been on a couple hundred flights. It's no big deal anymore. And he says, I would still frame it. I said, nah, it's no point, man. I'm a traveler. I said, I'm in Cleveland today. I'll be in New York next week. I was in New York last week. And, you know, life is good, you know, so I'll just keep it moving.
Yeah, man. I feel like only Instagram thoughts actually post that, so.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know what happens on Instagram. Let me not front I really know what goes on Instagram. But
speaking of travel, it hurt not to be in Australia for me.
Did it?
Yesterday.
It didn't hurt me, but I was really wanting to be there.
That was crazy, man. I never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
You seen a walk to the ring? How long that took?
Oh, yeah, the walk was long. I was like, nothing special happened, but it was a long walk.
Yeah. So I was doing my little round by round for the fight. What song did Devin come into? Because everybody loved it. Apparently.
DMX. Oh,
no. Top Rank always plays that before they come up. What did he actually?
I was confused. It took so long for him to get to the ring, and the next thing I knew, he was actually in the ring.
He was rushing to the ring.
No disrespect, but I didn't. I heard the first song that came on, which I thought was his song, but you're saying that's what Top Rank does.
Top Rank, they usually play that as their like precursor song.
Okay.
And then once the fighter gets it, it's What's My Name from DMX.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They play that for Crawford.
Okay.
Stevenson.
I never
now
know
Haney, and then they come out to yeah. I mean, do you really think all these young fighters are coming out to a song from 1998 that much?
Right.
Yeah, do you really? But
it makes sense. You got some extracurriculars to take care of.
Yeah, you know, let's go ahead and knock this out. So, hey, you guys been asking. We got new merch, new logos. You can go to portaway.com.
No. This is a once in a lifetime logo.
Yeah, once in a lifetime. This is actually a limit logo. We just
this is the limited edition logo. Let me explain real quick.
All right, go ahead.
We've been working on this logo idea for some time, and we got something that I was like, yo, that's solid. And the whole team collectively was like, gave the thumbs up. And lo and behold, none other than Brian Custer has, I'm not going to say the exact, but upwards to the exact same logo. Yeah. And I said, it's great, but we can't rock with it. So we were committed to this logo until we realized that it was kind of a duplicate of another logo. No one's fault or anything like that. But we had already printed up T-shirts and all that kind of stuff, feeling like that was the direction we were going to go. It is not the direction that we are going to go in. So with that being said, this is a limited edition shirt. I said, yo, send all the shirts out. We'll all sign them, and then we'll get them sold from there.
That's a lot.
Somebody say, yo, that's we can't do that. That's too much. So now what we're going to do is just we're going to sell those T-shirts as limited edition. Everything that we have with that specific logo as limited edition. We're now back at the drawing board with our logo situation. But that being said, we might introduce something to y'all that we talked about a little bit ago that we ended up pulling back on. So that being
there's
said,
Leonard.
That being
Leonard
said,
Ellerbe.
So yeah, that's being said. You
someone needs to let him in.
Theportaway.com and grab that. Theportaway.com. You can pick that up. We got limited edition shirts, and we actually might, if you purchase it, you can post it. We actually might have a drawing going, a gas card. My lady wants to give y'all like $200 or $300 on gas to help out.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
Hold on, say it again.
My lady said if you buy the shirt, you can be entered into a drawing in about a month for a gas card, about $200 or $300 gas card. just want to help y'all. I want to give y'all about 2 tanks of gas because, gas is expensive right now.
Don't touch me. I'm disappointed.
So with that being said, we got a guy.
The boss.
Yeah, we got the
CEO.
Man, and I got to grab something real quick. Y'all go ahead and handle it.
I'm in a dressing competition by myself today. I pulled out the nine.
I just saw this.
I pulled out the 9s for you, boy.
You always looking good.
This been sitting in the closet for at least a
You
year.
always looking sharp, brother.
This been in the closet for at least a year. And I'm going through, I said, you know what? I got a grown man coming to the show. I can wear that today. In my opinion, this is something a little too grown up for most people wouldn't understand. And I said, the man that's going to be sitting next to me today, he'll understand. And I'm sending him a message. I can't send you a message and you ain't got nothing on.
I apologize. I'm just coming from a USA basketball camp with my daughter. And
Very good.
Awesome.
yeah, so
Everybody, Leonard Ellerbe has entered the room. He is finally on the Portaway podcast.
Man.
CEO of Mayweather Promotions.
AKA be having that shit on. I've been waiting on that one.
Promoted the number 1 and 2 pay-per-views in boxing history.
There you go.
Mayweather McGregor and Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yep.
Before we get to Leonard, let me get Shawn with a presentation. So we got a guy right here.
1 second.
So 1 second. My name is what's the name?
Ganucci in there.
Oh.
Yeah. Galanucci. His IG is G the Fighter by Galanucci. He makes all the big names. He got Floyd Mayweather. He do art for everybody. His idea is just for art to last and to leave boxing, leave his legacy for his family. And he's all about preserving the sport. So he had a drawing of Mr. Porter here, and he was able to send it out, and we made it happen. So we're going to present him right now. Go ahead, Shawn.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah,
That's smooth right there.
Yeah, that's clean. He did his thing on that one.
Very nice.
Got any art pieces of fighters back home, Leonard? Something to Floyd, anything like that?
Oh yeah, I got quite a bit by the great Mr. Richard Sloan.
Okay.
Oh, you got
I was about to say, if he wanted to get you some Floyd stuff, can he get it to you?
Sure.
All right, I'll tell him reach out. IG.
Yeah.
All right, reach out to Leonard. Leonard, you can get your Floyd stuff over to him. So yeah,
Sweet, man.
yeah, that was.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's clean. That's clean
Very
right there.
nice.
So that's him actually doing your drawings, Shawn. Freehand and everything, getting it right.
And all of that, is that?
It's kind of on like an iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then print it out onto her.
Wow.
Yeah, he does NFT form and everything.
That really tripped me out when I first started seeing people being able to draw on iPads and things like that. Just it's completely different from what we grew up on. Like we grew up with the color pencils and
Etch a sketch
and the pastels and all that kind of stuff. And of course, there's always one in the bunch that can really do it. And to see people be able to evolve and do this kind of stuff on iPads and computers and stuff like that, to me is just
he got
amazing.
you down too.
Oh,
Old
100.
Shawn and new Shawn.
That is that's my favorite one.
That's the favorite art ever.
I've had some stuff done of me, and
This is your favorite one?
it's because it's the closest one to me.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
It's the closest one to me.
I was gonna keep it in my room, just stare at you all the time.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Leonard, great to have you, man. It's huge fight last weekend in Brooklyn. Tank's biggest pay-per-view yet. Numbers came in. It was his biggest pay-per-view. Madonna was in the audience. It was a great event, man. How are you feeling? I think 8 days removed now from what was a big event in Brooklyn.
Wore out. Putting on those big events, it takes a lot out of you or your team, and it's so much that goes on with putting these big events together. And we obviously Brooklyn hadn't had anything in a couple years, obviously because of the pandemic, and you know. It was a great turnout, terrific results. We were very happy with the numbers. Again, terrific performance by Tank. Very good performance by Rollie.
Yes.
Rollie, again, I told everyone all along that he's a force to be reckoned with, and you know he showed that last Saturday night. I thought it was a tremendous fight. It was very competitive, and Tank was able to close the show at the end.
I think when a lot of people hear you promoting the fight and you're talking about the things that Rollie can do to Tank Davis, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, right, no way. That's you blowing smoke and mirrors at us.
You're just trying to sell us a fight.
Yeah, I'm always obviously trying to sell the fight, but I'm telling the truth. It's like I see what he can do, and it's always styles make fights. Styles make fights, and you know.
To your point, did you? Because back to the question I was asked before I was being interrupted. Did he fight the kind of style that you expected him to fight?
Well, I obviously I didn't know what their game plan was, but I knew that it was going to be a competitive fight. And I if you know Tank and you know Rollie, obviously Tank has much more experience.
Yeah.
And Tank is able to set traps and do things of that nature. And obviously with this being Rollie's biggest fight, you know, to date, you know, when you're in there with a more experienced guy, and especially if he doesn't get caught, you know, he's able to kind of know what you're doing and figure it out and set you up for some later that he's, you know, trying to do. And Tank was able to execute it perfectly.
Interesting thing that Antt said, and I noticed it, but he said right off the bat, he said, Rollie doesn't look like the moment is too big for him. When he got in the ring, he looked like relatively comfortable and at ease with what he needed to do to get the job done. Were you surprised about that?
No, because, you know, if you know him, this is something he's been asking me for years.
Yeah.
For a few years. And
well,
you know,
okay.
Sometimes you don't have to have experienced something to be able to step up to the plate, because there's always the first time for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, when that opportunity comes, it just, you know, sometimes you either going to perform or you're not going to perform. And the moment wasn't too big for him.
Yeah.
And he did a wonderful job.
Because one more thing, and I'll let y'all go, because he, like you said, he's been asking for that fight for years. And he said, I'm knocking him out in one round. And
I think he was selling the fight a little bit too.
Hard to take all of that serious. When did you realize like how serious he was about getting a fight with Tank Davis?
Well, I mean, probably after the 20th time after you asked.
Yeah.
You know,
he was barking for that.
He wasn't just only asking me, he was asking Floyd, you know, also too.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, and the last thing for me, because at the end of the night, we all applauded Rollie, obviously losing the fight, but coming out the way that he did, performing the way that he did, all the way up until the knockout. None of us really knew that he had that in him. But then when you go and you say, hey, yo, he's been asking this fight for years, and after about the 20th time of him asking, we decided that it was time to give it to him. I really want to just, again, applaud Rollie for being ready for that moment, understanding that's what I want. That's the wall that I'm willing to go through, and not too many guys have that in them. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes in life we know taking an L sometimes is taking a W.
Yeah.
You know, in this particular case, because he showed a lot of people that he's gonna be a hard out. He's gonna be a hard out. You know, stylistically, you know, there's some matchups that are out there that I would make in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like what? Like what, Leonard?
Yeah, I'm you know me, I'm not one to be dropping names, but I have zero problems with putting them in there with anybody.
Yeah. Wow.
Anybody.
Wow.
In a 12-round fight with 8-ounce gloves.
Ooh.
He's dangerous.
It's a different story when you're sparring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of things that, you know, that you obviously, one, you got on 16-ounce gloves. You know,
I'll go ahead and tell you, the comfort level is way different. When you got on 16-ounce gloves, you got on headgear, you're not in a room with 20,000 people, 30,000 people. And if you make a mistake, it's okay, because I can always just go back to the corner and I got tomorrow. Way different on fight night when you don't have those moments to really just say, I'll get it right next time. So, yeah.
And again, obviously, I want to applaud Tank again, because, again, he showed that he can do a number of different things, and he has his skill set is.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, Leonard, when they both of these guys walked out the ring, they stock went up? Both guys.
1,000%.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't see like what we after like 1 or 2 rounds, I was like, okay, Rollie's ready for this moment. I thought he was stay on the jab, young man. Got overzealous, but like I said, that's the experience. But I felt when he walked out this ring, I want to see Rollie in there with a dog.
I want to see. You're going to see that.
Okay.
You're going to see that. And again, is that any of these guys that y'all say are the top guys?
What about that guy always talking in the audience on Twitter in that weight class?
Ryan Garcia?
Yeah. He be talking all the time, but
he do.
I don't know if he getting in the ring. He does a lot of talking.
Dude, he definitely do a lot of talking.
Did you see them on Twitter yesterday? Ryan said, Tank, promise me that when we fight, reference that it won't be this boring. And Tank said, shut the fuck up. But
yeah, well, again, because Ryan Garcia is not calling no shots.
Yeah.
You know, he has a boss. He has a promoter. Yeah. And I'm being facetious when I say a boss, but I mean, he has a promoter that he can't just, so he's got to work that out with his team. And again, I've tried to attempt to make that fight happen on two different occasions. And
if you were Oscar De La Hoya, Leonard, and you had Ryan, would you put him in there with Tank Davis?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I
mean, I get it, and I understand, and but just don't lie to the fans. Say one thing, and
right, because you tell it straight up.
Yeah.
If the fight ain't ready to be made, you'll tell us not ready to be made. But and speaking of that, Leonard, had Kambosos and Haney last night. Haney, who I know you've known since he was a child, not even just a teenager, but a kid. Becoming undisputed lightweight champion. That makes him the undisputed champ, but obviously Tank is still the draw in the division at the box office. So, but do you feel like that fight is on its way to being the Spence-Crawford of the lightweight division? Could it be bigger than a Spence-Crawford fight, Tank and Haney?
Just being honest with you, I mean, it's like, it's one thing winning titles, and then it's another thing with when people want to pay to see you.
Winning hearts,
it's a difference, and that's what the fans got to understand. Yeah. It has nothing to do with Devin's a tremendous young fighter, and I commend him, congratulate him on winning the undisputed championship last night. I didn't really get a chance to watch the whole fight because actually I was talking to Al. He called me in like the third round, and we was taking care of some business. I watched like the first 3 rounds, but I knew pretty much how the outcome was going to be because again, the styles and Devin's is a good boxer. So, congratulations to him.
Yeah. But could it, say Devin keeps working on that side, beats a Lomachenko, has good fights. Does that, like I said, could it be a Spence-Crawford or even bigger?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, again, you have to commend him for doing what he did. But again, that has nothing to do with making fans want to pay to see you, whether it's come to see you, at the venue or pay to see you, and Tank Davis is a pay-per-view fighter. And we see that what he does.
Yeah. Tank Davis is a prize fighter right now.
Yeah.
He's a prize fighter.
Yeah. And so again, it's kind of what it is. I don't know what their plans are. I mean, see, you can't put the cart before, because again, you got to remember the top rank, he's a top ranked fighter. They have several lightweights and obviously Shakur's a junior lightweight. So they're going to do what they need to do for their own stable of fighters.
For the business,
and it's business, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they all got to come see the big fella, and that's Tank.
How would that fight look? We ever get it?
What, Tank and
Devin Haney? Yeah.
Come on, man.
I got somebody going to sleep.
Yeah, it's like it's different, man. It's different. I know they boxed on 2, but again, I'm gonna go back to this in a 12-round fight with 8-ounce gloves. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I Tank Davis beats all those lightweights.
Hey, Leonard, he says Devin Haney. I'm waiting for Shakur Stevenson. Tank.
Oh, is he?
That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting on. That's the major fight. Shakur Stevenson down the road. Shakur Tank. That's my big.
He's
fight.
a 30-pounder. See, so that's what I say. You can't have these kind of conversations because guess what? Tank was criticized for fighting guys who, not you guys, but the media say that was smaller. Shakur's a good fighter, but it's like I don't know what their plans are. It's cool to say you want to do this and you want to do that, but you know, the promoter has other plans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, any plan right now for Tank? Obviously, you said you on the line with AH the other night.
Yeah, but we were just talking some other business.
Yeah.
No, not yet. We haven't had a discussion about, you know, anything next. You know, give him some time to, you know, enjoy. He just coming off of a very good fight.
Yeah.
You know,
stellar. Very stellar.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Leonard, can I throw out a match for you? Rollie Pitbull.
Ooh, I like that fight.
Love it.
Hey, that's a good fight.
Love it.
That's a good fight.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
You talked to Rollie since the fight?
Yes.
Is he's good?
Yeah. You know, we obviously suffering your first defeat. You know, we had some very good conversations. You know, about like, hey, hold your head up. You lost to Tank Davis, one of the best fighters in the entire world. Yeah. And you were in a very competitive fight. You know, and that there were many out there who were saying you were a bomb, and they were saying all these negative things. And again, is that we always knew that you were a very good fighter. And again, the opportunity came up short on that particular night. But I have no problems. I'm telling you, like any of them guys, man, I'm telling you, they say one thing, but and again, in a 12-round fight with 8-ounce gloves, and Rollie's been in there, and he has a lot of experience now, because that's invaluable experience. But you know, going 6 rounds, and you know, again, it was a high level chess match of two, you know, fighters that you know, like Tank said, is that Tank respected his power, justifiably so.
I got an analogy. Let me tell you how this was. You play Connect Four, right? Mm-hmm. And you ever go to play Connect Four with somebody, you like, oh, I'm gonna dust you. And you sit your little chips right here and say five chips, and I'm done with you. And then you put your chip in, they put their chip in. You put your chip in, they put their chip in. You put your chip in, and then they make the move you didn't expect them to make. You like, oh, you gonna make me think a little bit, huh? Okay, so you gonna make this hard for me. Put another chip in, and then they put a chip in. You like,
that's actually his game too.
That's
his game.
He told me that.
You gotta have to look.
No, he's good. You got to see him play.
I've never seen him. He said he plays online.
He plays light speed. He's okay. He's sharp. Yeah.
To my point, that's how that fight was. That fight was where Tank said, "You ain't on my level." From a standpoint of you don't sell the way I sell. You ain't been on the fights that I've been in, and then guess what? You ain't fought long enough to beat me. And then he found himself having to pause a little bit, hesitate a little bit, make his moves a little bit more carefully in order to get that Connect Four. You know what I mean?
Well, he had not cutting you off, Shawn. Yeah. He had 12 rounds to do it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody. I knew that the fight would end in a knockout. I knew that, and I told everyone that, because again, it's just like when you got two guys who are very determined like that, and both of them, you know, got this.
Yeah.
You know, it's danger.
Yeah.
It's danger.
Yeah. Do you have time to hang out with us?
Sure.
Cool. Let's feature real quick the Showtime fight, and then we'll try to get through.
Yeah, Leonard got high praise for Stephen Fulton, right?
I saw that.
He's
a guy. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. You know, he has tremendous skill set, great work ethic.
It's been a big last couple fights for the United States, because Fulton has taken over 22, Shakur's taken over 30, Haney and Tank at 35, Spence-Crawford at 47, Jermell at 54. It's been good. It's been a good 2022 so far. Yeah.
Did you watch the whole card?
The
whole Showtime card. Excuse me. Morrell fought a fighter Henderson knocked out Henderson.
I just was definitely trying to watch the Fulton fight, and then I knew Al was going to call me, and so again I started watching the Haney fight for a few rounds, and you know I had to take the call.
We don't got our quarterback today. You sitting in the quarterback spot.
Okay,
all right. So that's what Carson said. Shout out to Carson. He's our quarterback. He'll take us through the fights, get us there, get us to our destination.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
And then once we get the rock, you know, we off to the end zone.
Well, I think.
This is what I wanted to say about Fulton. If we want to show the clip of Fulton real quick, I believe Fulton has all of the intangibles to be great. I think that he has performed great against good competition.
Yeah.
I think what would take him from where he's at now to another level, he's got to be more aggressive. He's not an aggressive fighter. Get that. He fights off the back foot. He fights off of his movement. That sets everything up for him. Like the guys overcommit. Boom. They counterpunch. Keep moving. What I like to see is counterpunch, stay there, combination, then move. I think that he needs to be able to incorporate more offense, more offense with his hands, and less defense with his foot movement because he gets out of the way. But I think he takes himself a little bit further out of the range than he needs to be in. And then it becomes a rinse and repeat operation for him where he's so far out of range that the guy can't hit him. So that guy shakes it off. All right, here I come. And then here he is. Well, come get me again so that I can counterpunch you. You know what I mean? So I think there's ways, Floyd showed us, how you can pivot a guy, put him in position, get more offense off, and then get back on your defense. And that's what I like to see from Fulton.
Yeah, and my comment to that is, I guess sometimes it just kind of depends upon, what your bottom line is.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys are comfortable with just winning a unanimous decision, being able to show their skill set, and really don't want to, I ain't gonna say don't want to, but don't put themselves in harm's way to be taking certain risks.
Yeah. And now your bottom line as a world champion is to acquire fans.
Yeah.
You acquired the belt.
That part.
You acquired the belts.
At least on the rise, yeah. When you're young,
you're winning. But now you got to do something that are going to make the fans want to see you and respect who you are.
Well, I'm happy you guys talked about that because to kind of slightly disagree with you, I liked Fulton in the 11th and 12th rounds closed the show, especially that 11th round. He landed some really hard shots and buzzed Roman. And just the nitpick, because is Stevenson and Haney had tremendous performances and became the champs of their division, right, in their last fights. But one thing, and Fulton's a couple years older than them, so he's more in his prime than those two are, that I'd like them to take a page out of his book when he beat Roman, is how he closed the show. In rounds 11 and 12, Fulton already had the fight won, but he actually, after boxing all night beautifully, he stayed on his front foot and landed some hard, heavy shots. And he didn't get the knockout, but he closed the show. And that, if just a nitpick, if that's maybe one thing I would have liked to seen from Haney and Stevenson in the 11th and 12th round, Floyd towards the end didn't always do that, but he was at a different stage of his career as Money Mayweather than they are in their early to mid 20s right now. When he was their age, he was stopping the Corrales in the
no doubt
in the Gennaro Hernandez. So just that's it there. Yeah, I would like for Haney and Stevenson to maybe take a page out of how Fulton ended 11 and 12 next time. And again, they're a couple years younger than him. He's really, really in his prime. They're still coming into their prime. But
I think boxers has to understand, you got us, the casuals. I mean, the guys that love boxing, you got to bring in them casuals. Yeah. That's where the money's at. Leonard, and who else in boxing can bring out Madonna?
Nobody.
Oh my Lord!
No. I could not. I thought I was tripping.
Nobody. It's amazing that Tank's ability to connect with this generation of whether it's the hip hop culture, but see, we get it. We know what we're doing. Like I said, we're in these marketplaces, and I can tell you each and every market how many pay-per-views we're projecting. Who's actually buying the pay-per-view, who's not. We don't want to spend, marketing dollars over here. We want to shift over here. And that's just what having the experience of knowing what you're doing. And we have one of the biggest stars in the entire sport. And again, it's like some of the diehard fans and the media have unfairly criticized Tank and said, oh, well, he's not fighting anybody or this and that. And it's like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like Cruz, we gave him an opportunity. He was in the top 10 and across the board in every organization, just like Kambosos was.
Right.
Kambosos got the opportunity, and he seized the moment when he fought T.O. and when we gave Cruz the opportunity, he came up short in a very good fight. But it just comes, the criticism on this end, it comes because, you're successful.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And it is what it is because you're not going to stop this freight train. It's like, that's what it is. It's like Rollie Romero was 14-0. And prior to, other than the diehard fans, nobody knew anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just knew this.
Yeah.
He got a mouthpiece.
And he did some good interviews.
Great interviews because I was getting calls from people that I hadn't heard from in years. It was like, hey, who is this guy that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and he was like, can he fight? I said, yeah, he can fight. It's going to be a good fight.
Wow.
It's going to be a good fight. But Rollie, again, Rollie did wonders for his career moving forward because now when we put him in there in the next fight, people are going to know who he is and he's going to still be able to say what he want to say and then he's going to be able to execute and he's going to move on from there to another bigger fight.
Right.
Am I tripping or was this the first pay-per-view at the Barclays?
He hit me with that.
I've been looking into this and I've found nothing.
Like when Madonna show up, I don't think it matters.
The Ortiz.
Give yourself credit.
No,
bro.
that was Showtime.
Nope.
Yeah, the Ortiz fight was
Showtime.
Yeah,
that wasn't a pay-per-view.
No,
You got the first one and you saw that mug out.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
buddy.
incredible. The energy in that building.
Ooh,
again,
electric.
I'm telling you, and I've been a part of the biggest fights ever.
Yeah.
And it's just like Tank. It's just he's different.
He's on a level.
Yeah, he's different, and it's like they coming. I guarantee you, none of the fans even knew he was a world champion. Wasn't a world. They don't care.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
They spend their hard-earned money to come to see Tank Davis.
They know he's authentic.
Yeah, exactly.
Some guys could get tatted up to look hard, but they know he's the real McCoy.
And Tank is always looking at the end of the day to close the show. Mm-hmm. He's going to figure it out one way or another. Mm-hmm. He's looking at from 1 to 12.
Yeah. Tell me about the dynamic between Tank and Coach Cal.
He's an excellent coach.
Yeah.
He's an excellent coach. They are able to have a great connection. They talk their talk. They have a great working relationship. Obviously, he's raised him ever since he was a kid. Yeah. And Calvin's an excellent trainer.
Yeah.
Excellent trainer.
Every time I
and
get
a great
an opportunity
person
to speak to him, it's like I see more of what he knows about the sport. Usually, like take my dad, for instance, because my dad only had me, he's limited in terms of what people know his capabilities are.
Right.
People think that he's only capable of training his son or a guy who's 5'7" or a guy that's strong.
Now your dad's worked with worked with a number of fighters. Yeah. I know firsthand a number of fighters again through the amateur system some are world champs now, your dad he's put in that work.
Yeah,
he's put in that work.
The same with Coach Cal. I like to rub elbows and find out just how much you really do know, and not allow the fact that you have a world champion to tell me that you're a world championship coach. But every time I rub elbows with Coach Cal, I'm astounded at just like how sharp he is and like
wisdom.
how much wisdom he got and not only that, but how he translates that to his fighters and just to people in general. Coach Cal is not you from DC, he kicks it to you a little differently.
Totally.
Same thing with Coach Barry.
Yes.
The way they kick it is just a little different,
Totally, because again, they grew up in the same culture and environment, and again, they're very relatable.
Yeah.
With this younger generation, they still, even though both of them are older guys, but they can relate to, because again, we all grew up in them same environments, and we was that age too, so we know, We
don't have to spend too much time on Morrell versus Henderson.
Yeah,
he's
hot sauce.
But there is a but.
He continues to look good, but he's got 7 fights. He's too green for Benavidez.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. He's going to be a problem for anybody in the division, but he just looks too green for Benavidez right now.
He's not professional enough. I don't think he's learned enough. He hasn't learned how to get a fighter to open himself up, force a fighter to open himself up so that the openings are there for the good jab, the great jab that he's got and the power that he's got. He gets Henderson up on the ropes, and he's wide with his shots, and he's trying to come up the middle take a couple steps back. Let this guy lead off. Open him up. Show us the skill that you got. Counterpunch Henderson and do something that's going to hurt him from the outside opposed to just taking it up on the ropes. Of course, it only took 3 rounds to get the job done, but I think that he needs to, for me, he's got to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And I think that he can do that with more patience and being able to use more of his offensive arsenal by working more from the outside instead of rushing. The fact that he rushes so much, to me, that shows a little bit of how green or immature he is in the boxing ring.
And he's also willing to punch while you punching and willing to take big shots.
Yeah.
He actually got buzzed last night. I don't know if you guys seen it. It was one time he got buzzed and went back.
I wasn't sure if he got buzzed.
Yeah.
But kind of that offense and defensive thing that I've talked about before, where you gotta be able to hit a guy and make a guy miss in a second's notice. You got to be able to throw your punch knowing what's coming back before that hand is even thrown. You know what I mean? So it looked like, he was offense, and then let me see where you're at. And the young guys that don't understand, like you'll show me where you're at when you show your offense, and I roll off of that and come right back. He wasn't rolling off, and he was getting caught.
He stays on the line all night.
Yeah.
And if you please don't put him in there with Benavidez. Please don't do that.
Just
that
not yet.
Yeah.
He'll hold his own when he's ready.
I'll take Anthony Durrell. That's gonna be a tough fight.
That's gonna be a tough fight.
It ain't nothing easy either, but Benavidez is a different level.
Yeah.
Different level of fighter.
Yeah.
And any thoughts? I know you didn't get to see the fight. You were on the phone, but they've been some buzz, some talk about maybe Benavidez and Morrell.
Benavidez, he is.
Everybody got the same expression about Benavidez.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's like Tank. When he hits the pads and I'm there, he makes me make ugly faces and want to look away. Like, oof. And nobody's trying to take that.
Yeah. So here's Morrell right here, and then you can see that it's offense. This is when he finally got him hurt, and the ref finally did step in. I actually thought the ref was going to step in the second round where he had him hurt. This was actually the 4th round was when the fight ended.
I thought it was third too.
Yeah, I actually thought it was the 3rd, but that's he's still got some ways to go. And with 7 fights, we have to just understand that he's been marketed very well to this point. He's got a WBA
interim. He's a world champion.
Yeah.
He's got the interim title.
Yeah. So when you get there, it's only so much longer you can wait.
What about Ronald Ellis?
Oh, for Morrell? Yeah, I mean, that continues to.
It's just tough fights to build him up.
Yeah.
I just don't push him to the top.
Yeah.
It's tough. Leonard,
how you build this guy?
He would know best.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
It's no rush.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the fighter, he wants it.
Like Rollie.
Yeah. And you just gotta know. You just gotta know.
I think for Rollie was the best time for him.
Oh, most definitely. And he proved that. He proved that.
Yeah. Then we had something special happen in Australia. We had Tank. We had Devin Haney come back to the U.S. 4 belts.
He went over there and put on a master class.
A little bit of a clinic.
That was almost Floyd Mayweather. Like,
I want to hear you because you would look like you was hating on him in the group.
No. What I was doing was thinking of a mindset that we was gonna get F.
Nah, don't do that.
They be robbed. They don't like America, man. I just was thinking that he was gonna get robbed. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt like the judge was gonna be against him, but at the end, I felt like he was doing more than enough to prove I'm winning this round.
Every round that you felt was suspect, you just gave it to
Kambosos.
Yeah.
Kambosos.
Yeah.
So did he dominate the whole?
Yeah.
I only watched the first couple. He dominated the whole fight.
10-2.
I had it 10-2. You didn't have it 10-2 in our group, so shut up.
Why you snitching?
I'm reading messages. I'm like, come on, man, like relax.
When in my robbery head, I had a 6-6 draw.
Robbery head.
It was Kambosos couldn't do nothing with the jab, the speed, the length. Not to be blasphemous, but it was a little bit like when Floyd fought, in that here's this guy looking like he doesn't belong in the ring, but he does. He's just being disarmed. He's just being taken apart. So
the robbery's always there. Floyd Mayweather was my favorite fighter all time, but I think the Canelo fight, somebody gave Canelo the fight, didn't it? One of the judges?
Draw.
Adelaide Bird.
Why you put it on blast?
No, I mean, no.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a master class.
Husband's a great referee.
When you see or hear that, especially like what goes through your mind? when like in the for instance, in the instance of the Floyd fight, you hear draw out of nowhere. You hear
I thought
draw.
they misread the card or something.
Yeah,
because there's no way that you could give him 2 rounds.
Yeah,
he took that boy to school.
And I felt like
I don't think Mrs. Alvarez, his mom, had it a draw.
I feel like Devin Haney did the same thing last night. Yeah. I just thought that he stayed very focused and poised on the mission, which was to use the jab. Looked like, I don't know the game plan, but it looked like the game plan was just to use the jab, control the range, and control the overall tempo of the fight. And Kambosos just never got started. I learned a lot about Kambosos in this fight, where I watched fights of him before Lopez. I said, this kid's more explosive than we know. He's quicker than we know, and he's got more offense than we know him to have. And it showed up in the fight against Lopez. But you get a guy who's a little bit longer. Styles make fights. This guy ain't sitting still right in front of you, and all of a sudden you draw a blank. I don't know how to get to this guy. I don't know how to get to you. And for upwards to the entire night, he didn't know how to get at Haney. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was a little mind blowing. If we can show the clips now of Devin Haney and Kambosos last night. I mean, the plotting and the walking, the watching, and then so he said,
Shawn, why is he so heavy on his front foot?
So I don't know if you saw this or I tweeted last night that he's high on both of his feet.
Okay.
So his back foot, he's like almost on his tippy toe. Yeah. And then his front foot is a little bit the same. He's too erect. That limits his mobility to get to anybody. And a guy like Devin Haney, you were meant to look the way that you looked last night because of the flaws that you have in your fundamentals with foot movement and things like that. I didn't know how bad his feet were until I was watching last night. I'm saying he's too erect. He's too high on his feet. It's going to limit his mobility. And against a guy like Devin Haney, you can, if you're limited at anything, being able to move and get to Devin Haney at the end of the night, that's the last thing you need to be, you can't do is not be able to get to Devin Haney. Even if you get, what I wanted to see Kambosos do last night, get to Haney and rough him up.
Wait.
I felt like, yeah, go ahead.
It's a method to that.
It's a method to that.
Because stylistically, you know, Devin fights a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, he's been around for a very long time and he's had some trainers who,
a lot of them
who I'm very familiar with.
Yeah.
Who raised him.
Yeah.
So you know, he's adapted a certain style. So it's certain things you can do.
Yeah.
I can't say this,
you
know, but certain things you can do to kind of
won't give the game away,
to offset it, and you know.
Well, I thought, you know, I actually think it was really just Devin making him look bad because, like Robert Guerrero, he fights Andre Berto, his feet look good, his pressure is wonderful, and then he fights Floyd Mayweather, and he's in no man's land, you know, on the outside. So I feel like it was just an awful style matchup for George Kambosos. But Leonard, you know, you saw Devin again when he was a kid, not even just a teenager, a kid. When anything you want to share from seeing him growing up, and did you know already at a young age, oh, this kid's gonna be world champion?
You could always see because again, he's a hard worker, and you know, he learned a lot from Roger, Big Floyd, you know, so he was a great student, you know, and when you're working with very smart people, and you're a student, and then you're in the repetition over and over and over again, and you master something, then you know, he makes things look easy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. Did you ever try to talk to them about signing with TMT?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed like right off
But
the
Floyd
rip.
did?
No.
I did.
Yeah, he said I didn't.
He's a good fighter, though. He's a very good fighter.
I mean,
and I have respect for him and his dad, and you know, but the Tank thing is different.
Honestly, Leonard, he's probably been Tank is around now. A lot of big names. He's been a chosen one for over 10 years. Let's be honest. Well, as he's the first one I heard
Haney?
of. Yes, he's and does he put in the work like a Floyd outside the ring?
He's
somebody said he does it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you see it. You see it. I've seen a box several people. Over the years, and again, his style is a certain way. Obviously he's grown. He's grown from being a kid. You can see him getting stronger. As he's getting older.
Yeah,
he's a very good fighter.
Yeah,
is that schooling a really important lineage to keep going in the sport? The schooling he got from Roger and Floyd, because I hear a lot of Shawn has talked to me about this sometimes. Like the great trainers, they can be few and far between. Calvin's one of them. Kenny was one of them. Is that really important that not just for their own careers, but that they keep those jewels, those little tools of the trade getting passed down?
And it's just taking bits and pieces of it, because there will only be one Floyd Mayweather. We all know that. And that's why it does annoy me when people compare, some of these younger fighters to, and it's like, you can't do that. Like you can't. Floyd, when Floyd was coming up, when he was at 30 and he was
a dog.
It was different.
Yeah.
It was different. He wasn't sitting back. He was very aggressive. Yeah, he was very aggressive. Multiple combinations, along with the defense simultaneously. It's like levels.
And then Leonard, he mastered boxing.
Yeah.
Bro, my man mastered boxing.
Yeah.
You know how big a Floyd fan I am. No, don't get me started.
I do. I want to, obviously publicly congratulate Devin and his dad. There's no secret we all picked them to come back here champions. But to see them fight through everything they had to get through in order for Bill to be able to be ringside and give his son every ounce of himself for that moment. At the end of the day, we all wanted to see that happen. I don't think Kambosos was faking the funk. I think he really did want Bill to be there so that there were no excuses. And I think that while he didn't reap the benefits that he thought he would with his dad being absent, Devin Haney, on the other hand, I think he and his dad both, they did something very special last night. They remained calm and poised. There were a few moments where the crowd got loud, and you know how that can be, where everyone you expected to show up shows up, and then they start to do their job. It's my job to make sure that they don't become a part of this night. And Devin and his dad, they put together a great game plan. And not to say I don't think Kambosos is extremely hard to prepare for, but they put up a great game plan and dominated, in my opinion, from rounds 1 all the way to the end. There were two rounds early on that I gave to Kambosos, but those rounds were close. But other than that, everything was controlled, manipulated, and mastered by Devin Haney and his dad last night. So I just want to publicly tell them congratulations.
Talking about Devin's schooling, who he learned the sport from. Tank, he has a number of the same moves in his arsenal too. He could shoulder roll too, all that stuff.
Tank is a tremendous, not cutting you off, Tank is a tremendous boxer. He's an elite boxer. And he just hadn't had to, go in his bag to really show you that. You talk to some of the trainers who come up through the amateurs that knew him when he was a youngster, and they'll tell you those Tanks had over 300 and some amateur fights.
Yeah.
And
it was the same thing for me.
Yeah.
When I fought Devin Alexander for my first belt, a lot of people said that I wasn't going to win. I was the underdog. And anybody that was from the amateur system, they're like, oh, you think Shawn Porter going to lose this? Just wait till you see. That was a little bit different, Shawn Porter, than the Shawn Porter that fought some of the other guys, specifically Danny Garcia. I think that was an opportunity I had to pull out some real boxing tricks that people didn't know that I even had.
But Shawn, when you was an amateur, you was 65.
Yeah,
you was 65.
Yeah,
they was talking about you. What I knew about you way back then. Ronald Sims.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Yeah,
Ronald Sims was my guy. He used to tell me like back then when you was doing your thing. It's like you was big then.
Yeah.
Big.
I mean, obviously I know, but I didn't know you knew.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you knew.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up.
When you were promoting his fight with Broner, were you knowing deep down, like, because you were promoting Adrian, were you like, oh, this is gonna be a little tough for Adrian?
Yeah, because they look at Shawn's style but Shawn can do a number of things, and what works for him, Shawn is also a thinking fighter. Is a method to his style.
Yeah.
And I've been through that. You know, again, because he was a exceptional amateur fighter too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like he kind of, I ain't gonna say shrink down, but again, he was fighting at 65 in the amateurs.
Beat Usyk.
Yeah, getting it done.
Yeah, I was getting it done.
Getting it done.
Yeah, I was getting it done. And to that point, when I look at Kambosos and I'm like, man, you're fighting too high on your toes, and you're not using the movements necessary to cut the ring off, or not even cut the ring off, but just to be able to use your hands and feet at the same time to get to Haney. It was very frustrating to me because I've seen an explosive Kambosos that is relatively quick and fast and relatively sharp, and I didn't see that Kambosos last night. I think we see a much better Kambosos in the rematch. I do think that they'll make adjustments, be more aggressive, and then I think that Devin Haney's it's a matter of him handling, you know, wherever this fight takes place, but it's a matter of him handling that level of pressure that's going to come to him, because it's going to come different. The package is going to be different for
Are they having a rematch?
Yeah, that's what.
George isn't letting that rematch money walk away.
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah. You know, got to get your money.
No, but talking business with the best there is. Wouldn't he be foolish, even if you don't feel you could win a rematch? You're not going to make probably half the money fighting Joe Schmo instead of fighting a rematch with Devin Haney.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a number of things. Is the network? I mean, again, I don't know what the deal structure is, but it's. I think, you know, we'll see what happins. We'll see what happens.
I tell you what, if they have more than 2 Australian judges, them titles ain't leaving Australia.
I'll say this about Devin Haney though. One thing he's got that's some other effort for all the lightweights. Even Tank he's so long. He's the guy.
Best jab in boxing?
He's got one of them. That elite jab. He's the guy who's going to move up to 47 because he's 5'9" and got long arms. That's a problem for all these lightweights.
I got a problem with it. Let's make the match.
All of them except 2.
Except Rollie Romero and Tank Davis?
Mm-hmm. Are those 2?
What?
Rollie? Rollie gets past the jab?
Listen, I'm not just saying this because I want to say this the right way.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time.
Take your time. Preach.
If you're not very strong, you know what I mean, to got something that's gonna make, you're gonna have to have more than this. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to have more than this to beat Rollie.
Oh, more than just the power.
No, you're gonna have to have more than a jab.
Oh, more. Oh,
and I'm not saying that.
Me.
I'm not remotely saying that. I'm just being frank. You're gonna have to have something to keep Rollie off of you. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to have something to keep him off of you.
Because I felt like Devin was one of the guys in particular. You didn't mention his name, but when you were talking about sparring is different than the 8-ounce, because there, people saw the sparring clips of Rollie and Devin, and felt like that's what you were getting at. It's a big difference.
Big gloves. It make a difference. And again, I never watched them box. Right. And I never watched no footage, but see, I know Rollie and I know Devin's style. Yeah. And again, but if again, I don't even want to talk about things that can't happen. Yeah. So.
Man,
anything's possible.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
It's like, we have to, a lot of times people say things and then things aren't realistic. It's like those mythical matchups, things have to make sense. It's like
now we're finally getting Spence-Crawford.
He works with Top Rank. Mm-hmm. He's a Top Rank fighter. They have 5 or 6 guys that they can fight.
Basically, they got to have a tournament. The guy comes out, get us, and I got that guy Shakur Stevenson.
I don't know what they're doing, and wish them all luck.
You just control your side.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. It's like Tank Davis is the guy that people want to see.
But if and hopefully when they make it to the box office type of level Tank's at, then it's come to the table, right? That's when it's time to.
Again, Tank will fight anybody. He'll fight anybody.
I'm trying to see if I can ask you a question. I feel like when people come to this podcast, we're kind of giving them the stuff they don't know. You know, we break down the X's and O's in a way that they're things that they didn't know, and they leave every episode or most episodes feeling like they're a little bit more enlightened on the sport. You being the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, if you could give us maybe just a small glimpse at what it takes to do what you do and what it takes to put on a big fight. Like we're talking about fights that can't be made, and people don't really understand why those fights can't be made. Is there something that you can give us as to what could make those fights happen or something like that?
Well, when you look at Tank Davis just as a fighter, and he's able to do this in every city.
Yeah.
Every city.
It's been cool to see.
Dang, I never thought about that.
It's been cool to see.
I never thought about that.
We went to the UK. Same thing.
Yeah.
People want to see him. They want to see him. He's that guy.
Yeah.
He has the it factor.
Yeah.
And again, it's like his gates are getting bigger and bigger and bigger each time. And again, he's slowly but surely crossing over into that mainstream world. Mm-hmm. And again, I've been saying, Shawn know this, I've been saying this from day one. Tank Davis is going to be the biggest star in the entire sport, and he's going to be the face of boxing. Mm. And it's going to be sooner than later.
Leonard.
So then at
he
that
might
point,
be up there right now.
I happen to have
last week. Have you seen what I seen last week? The stars out.
Yeah, and again, I give Canelo all the credit. He has a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
He has a built-in fan base.
Yeah, no disrespect, but
no disrespect, but let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
And those are paying customers that are coming out that want to see Tank Davis.
Yeah.
And they're willing to go anywhere.
Yeah.
They're willing to travel from the east to the west, from the west to the east, down south. They coming.
At this point, if we say F the business and we just putting two fighters together or a fight for Tank, for you it's a matter of who else can sell the way Tank can sell.
Well, there's no fighter out there that can, because see,
I know that there's no fighter that can.
Yeah,
we already know that.
And
my man is special, and I dig him for that.
But see, when I'm not cutting you off, Shawn.
No, go ahead. I cut you off.
You can name them. You name the guys that you guys say are the top guys.
I mean, the first one to me, the most probably competitive fight and biggest fight that can be made right now for Tank is Lomachenko, I believe.
I like the Haney.
That's a hell of a fight.
I like the Haney.
No, I'm saying that
I'm talking about in terms of
he's talking about money.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's like, of course you want to see these matchups, I guess.
Yeah, no.
If you're a boxing fan.
But my neighbor don't know Lomachenko. He's like, hey man, the Tank fighting. I'm like, yeah, fighting.
Shakur wants to fight him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what their plans are. They have a lot of fighters over there that are around the same weights, and they can make a bunch of fights. And we're gonna keep on doing what we're gonna do. We're gonna fight the biggest and best fights out there, and I don't care who they are, but it has to make business sense. Again, because this young man, again, he's doing all the heavy lifting. Because you can put all these names collectively together, all of them together, and they aren't generating the revenue that he is in one fight. So think about that for 1 second.
But you have also said, like at the post fight, patience. Not that they won't it'll happen, but just patience.
Yeah, and over a period of time, again, if they say that this guy's the best, but think about this for a second. This in the lightweight division, these titles have changed hands in the last what? When was the Lomachenko
October
TO
2020?
Fight?
October 2020.
So in the last 2 years,
yeah.
Look how many times those titles have changed hands. So
3 times.
We can't say that this is the guy because nobody's had any defenses, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're all fighting solid competition.
I was gonna say the other side of that is the competition.
They're fighting solid competition.
Yeah.
But the titles are changing hands. So if someone is the guy, the people are going to determine that.
Yeah.
The people are going to say, we want to see this. And the people are collectively, not just the diehard people. And that's what people got to understand. It's like, as a promoter, you got to think big picture and you got to think outside of the box.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you consider Tank undisputed if he don't Tank still got a belt? So
Yeah, he has the WBA regular belt.
oh,
But at the end of the day, the belts are great.
yeah,
You know,
I wasn't gonna go there, but since
no,
we did.
the belts
I was just thinking about
the
that.
belts are great. But again, it's like Tank's at a level. None of that matters.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, none of that matters.
Why you
People
gonna
don't
go
care.
Yeah.
People do not care. I guarantee you, we had 19,000 people there. Like, how many people knew that he was the WBA regular champ?
Nobody.
They don't care.
Madonna had to have known. She had to have known.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Tank Davis, if you can bring out Madonna, that's speaking volumes of where this young man
She
is.
was there because that WBA interim title.
There you go.
That's what she was there for. Yeah. No, but, okay, the joke is dead now.
But before we end this on Haney, I got to give his dads all the props. You know, everybody knows dad, street dude, background. I give him props for not raising another street dude. He raised a millionaire.
There you go.
He got a business.
There you go.
He built his son right.
There you
I got to
go.
give you props for that, man. You know,
Did a great job.
did a hell of a job. And
great job.
that it's not the thing about being a street dude and raising a street dude. That's not.
But
that's not
also too, let me say
Uh-huh.
this. Also, they have a great lawyer.
okay. I don't know
Okay?
that.
They have a great lawyer.
Okay, Leonard, y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Shout outs to him.
Yeah, shout out to
John Hornauer.
I feel like Leonard just got me in some shit.
No,
I'm scared.
No, I'm just,
Oh, okay.
I'm just, because a lot of times when
Because he helped make sure Bill got in to Australia. Right?
he's my attorney.
right.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
He's a great attorney. So again, the knowledge that he's able to provide for them is because again, it's starting out and understanding the business. They have a good team. They have a good team.
Yeah.
Bill's really smart, man.
Yes, he is.
Because he walked an incredibly fine line. Like you said, okay, don't raise him to be a street dude, but then you got to worry about spoiling your kid too much,
Yes,
giving him too
yes.
much. And somehow he walked that perfect line.
Yes.
And we gave Lomachenko's father deservedly a lot of credit. He's this mastermind. He put his son in ballet, did all these little things with foresight. And that's what Bill did.
Mm-hmm.
Bill brought him around Floyd and Roger, knowing what he was doing big picture-wise. Roy Jones buying the Hit Factory here in Vegas. So, yeah, Bill was the mastermind behind
Mm-hmm.
it.
And Bill will be the first to tell you that, he took a page out of our book. And again, that's a respectful. I respect that.
Absolutely.
You take a little bit of this and you learning from the best. You learning from the best. And he's put all the pieces together and they've done a great job.
So my dad the other day, I went over to his house and we spoke, and I said, Dad, I don't know if you realize this or not, but a lot of decisions I make and a lot of things that I do, I actually do them with you in mind. I asked myself, what would Kenny Porter do? What would Kenny Porter say? And how would he do it? How would he make those moves? I said, Dad, you probably don't realize this, but I've listened and I've paid attention to you much more than you may even know. And I was telling my dad, like, I really love you for making me who I am. And I'm sure at some point they're gonna have that same conversation, because it all kind of comes full circle. I watched the press conference or post-fight press conference, and they said, Bill, you almost didn't make it here. How's it feel to see your son where you're at, where you always wanted to be? And he said, it hasn't set in yet. He said, this is night of. Maybe in a day or two it'll sit in. When it sits in, that's when becoming a world champion is special.
Yeah, no.
And like you, like I know long preparation and promotion for Tank, and that last fight that he just did against Romero, 3 or 4 days later, that's when you get to really sit down and really like look at everything that you did and kind of admire yourself from a distance, though. Not get complacent, but say, man, yeah, we did something last night.
Man, I said that we did that, man. And again, it's I have a great team also, and it's like we're constantly thinking outside the box, working around the clock. And again, we're actually physically in these markets.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a week before the fight, I was in Dallas promoting, everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, before that, I was in Tennessee, just doing little things again that you don't see me on social media, doing all this.
Yeah.
It's like we doing all the grassroots stuff, and we know what we got to do, and we've been very fortunate to, again, it's like building Floyd's career and understanding what it takes. We have all the advantages.
So what is real? I mean, what is realistic for Tank next then? Since all those names, it's not really ready. Those fights aren't big enough to be made yet. What do you think?
Well, and it's not only that. It's just like this. Again, you can't even mention a Haney name when he's contractually got to do. So again, let's be honest about So I don't know what we're doing. We haven't had a conversation about that. We'll sit down as a team and with Tank and decide that and go from there. But anything we do is going to be big.
When you in that position, you don't got to rush.
Yeah. When I think about it, Leonard, you cleaned up your side of the street. I can't think of nobody else. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean,
we'll fight anybody. It just has to make sense. At the end of the day, that's how fight. Anything that Tank Davis is doing is a big fight.
Yeah.
And again, because it's levels to everything. People are coming to see Tank Davis.
Yeah.
Because he gives them exactly what they want to see. Yeah. And there's never a fan that walks away outside of that arena or who hadn't tuned into him to say that everyone comes away with, hey, I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's to the point where it's not a fight no more, it's an event.
Ooh.
Exactly. Because there's so many things, there's so many things that going on, like prior to and during and I gotta get also props to Steven Espinosa and Showtime, his team.
Why in my mind he was gonna say props to Shawn Porter?
For what?
In my mind,
we did go out there, Leonard. I mean, we did go out.
Yeah,
of course,
but
we appreciate that support and having a vehicle like All Access, with the platform and working with the producers, and that's it's little things like that go a long way with building a young fighter's career, and people getting to know him, outside of the ring. It goes a long way with being able to, to connect with that audience outside of the diehard fans. And again, it's like anytime you're generating the kind of revenue that Tank Davis is, it's like you winning.
Let's do this. I got one more for you, and then we'll preview Inoue and Inoue. And then we'll cut it right there.
Oh, and shout out first undisputed lightweight champ since Pernell Whitaker in '91.
There you go. He said, "I gotta get
the stats in. Gotta get the stats in.
You got any update on TMT, on the Mayweather Promotions beyond Tank Davis? Is there anybody coming up that we should?
We have several young fighters, and I don't want to leave any of them out.
All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Richardson Hitchens, Angelo Leo, Jaleel Hackett, Dorian Kahn,
great talent,
Mickey Scala. I got so many young guns that that we have a very, very bright future for the company. Beautiful. And again, it's just being patient, and I've always had the mindset I don't need 200 fighters.
Yeah.
I just need a small group of guys that I know. One thing about us, we're gonna get you an opportunity or more than one opportunity, and it's up to you to kick the door down. And so it's I get a joy out of being able to change these young fighters' careers and their life with, like Rollie, for an example. It's like, Rollie is lightweight famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so again, he has a very bright future ahead of him. And again, he's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Gotta
capitalize.
Yeah. And he's
Hackett reminds me of, he's not a southpaw, but he reminds me a little bit of Errol Spence, Jaleel Hackett.
I think you said
and guess
that.
what? Errol Spence is his favorite fighter.
Yep. We said that.
And Dorian Kahn, lots of flash and talent.
Yep.
A pure boxer.
Southpaw.
Yeah.
Yep.
It likes to switch the looks. This look, that look, this look, but fat. Dorian Kahn, really good talent. I saw him do better than he should have against grown men in his gym.
And if I left any of my young guys out, I didn't do it on purpose. But
we
it's
just waiting to see y'all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Leonard, you've been around the biggest events in boxing. Can Crawford Spence sell out Allegiant Stadium?
Can they sell out Allegiant Stadium? Ooh, that's hard. That's tough. That's
If
tough.
anybody can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, but it's not a matter. People don't understand. It's not a matter of having 72,000 people in Cowboy Stadium. You know what it comes down to? The bottom line. 72,000 people, or the record, whatever Canelo had.
78, yes.
Whatever it was. As a promoter and a business guy, it generated $9 million. Okay? Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
And Canelo planted, 16 or something like that?
18.
18.
Okay?
Hold on, Leonard. You cut checks for $200 million one time.
So, and
That must be a great feeling.
look. And with that being said, it's like, so you could take, like the Conor McGregor fight, you take it and put it in T-Mobile Arena. Yeah, you could have put it in Allegiant Stadium. Well, that wasn't around then. But
we got it.
You put it in T-Mobile and you generate $55 million at the gate. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily, the bigger, it's good from that standpoint. But if you have a mega fight like that fight, you could put it, in a venue like the T-Mobile, and it would generate a lot of money. You don't necessarily have to go to Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant Stadium, would have to be something that's like
Canelo and Benavidez, I think, could do Allegiant Stadium.
That's going to be tight. Mexican fans going to come out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's always going to be about the bottom line. And that's my point. It's like, you would think that, again, 72,000, they're going to, but it was 9 million. And again, like the plant fight, we were socially distancing in Miami with Floyd and Logan Paul, and we did 8 million with 25,000 people. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, Leonard, let me get $100.
This bottom line this. Carson ain't here.
Okay.
So somebody got to hype up anyway.
Inoue.
Right.
I'll even pronounce his name correctly
Inoue.
just to get the hype started.
Yeah.
I'm rolling with Donaire.
Naoya.
I'm rolling with Donaire.
You rolling with what you got, Leonard?
Donaire.
Yeah, well, I think we're all rolling with the legend.
I get it. We're all from the United States, but come on.
I'm rolling with Donaire. You know what? Because, and I said this before, like I counted my man out a long time ago, and I mean a long time ago.
We all did.
I'm embarrassed at how long ago it was.
And I remember when he got you back.
And when he got me back, I had to look in the mirror and I was like, man, like you shouldn't have never
Yeah.
That being said, my heart and even intellectually, I do believe that he can get it done. I believe that Donaire can get this done.
Look, I got it, Inoue.
Yeah.
But Donaire, one of the greatest fighters of the last 20 years, pound for pound.
Yeah.
Top 10 best pound for pound of the last 2 decades, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's got that veteran timing now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm not as fast as I used to be, but I know when to punch. He's got this over Inoue. So and he can knock you out one shot.
Yeah.
So he can pull this off.
Yeah.
But I just feel like one guy's gotten older and the younger guy, if anything, has gotten better. And
he's pound for pound.
he's still got the speed over Donaire. He can get off 2-1. He still punches hard as hell. Inoue's a monster, man. He in terms of power, speed, explosiveness, he's as good as it gets in the game. Right, he's right there with Tank. He's right there with Tank. In terms of explosiveness, Tank got a little more defense than him.
Yeah.
Tank got more defense than him. But explosiveness, I put Inoue up there with anybody pound for pound. Great puncher, great body puncher. That could be a problem for the older fighter. Yeah. I got to roll with the monster from Japan still.
And what we got? What's that, Tuesday?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Is that nighttime here? Daytime here?
I think daytime here.
Daytime.
Yeah.
All right. And then what network?
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus. We got Inoue.
Inoue.
And Inoue.
I got corrected a lot,
Inoue.
trust me, from the Japanese fans.
And I think we're picking with our heart.
Not mad at
But with
that.
the mind, we know.
Be all right. We'll be all right.
Carson will say Inoue stops him in 8.
Yeah.
Carson says stoppage. This is He could have got stopped last fight.
I should have got a quote from him.
Yeah. He could have got stopped last fight, but Carson going with the stoppage.
Sir, finally coming on the podcast.
Man,
thank
this
you
is great.
For coming
this is
in.
great. Again.
And thank you for hanging with us too. I was like, I wanted you for the whole show, but I wasn't sure if you would be able to give us that time. So.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I say I'm going to do something, and again, it was like my daughter had this USA thing today, and it was like, you know, I'm on dad duty. So it's like, got to be there and support her.
Extremely grateful to have you. Good luck to your daughter with basketball.
Thank you.
And invite me out. I'll definitely come check her out playing ball too.
Any wisdom you could, any game you can impart on us, Leonard? Because I know you have a lot of
patience.
Okay.
Just patience. You know, just with everything. It's like when you take your time, you get it done right. You take your time, you just get it done right. It's like everybody's just want to rush, do everything, and it's like when you take your time, you can think clearly, and you know. And that's just kind of how I just every day.
Are you waking up smiling every day, Leonard? It seems like it's been a good life.
Yeah, it's like, you know, of course, you know, it's still hard. It's still hard what you do, but it's like when you get older, you look at things differently, and it's good. I got good people around me, and you know, it's still a lot of work to do. You know, I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and you know, again, it's like I love working with Al, you know, and he's like a genius.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, we share a lot of knowledge, you know, so yeah, life is great.
I like that. The way I had ended the show last week, I was like, I'm gonna try to start doing that. And I forgot that I wanted to do something like that. So we got it from our guest today, patience. And just to kind of piggyback off of that really quickly and end it the way that I want to start ending these shows, you look in the dictionary and you'll get the definition of patience, but you don't get how to use patience.
It's true.
You'll see what patience is, but no one can tell you how to effectively use patience.
It's true.
What I've learned is through discernment, through sitting down, through meditating, through patience and waiting, something will always reveal itself.
True.
And that's how I use my patience. So y'all out there listening to us, listening to Mr. Leonard Ellerbe here, he said use your patience. Along with that, sit down, wait, listen, and when you feel it, then go for it. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good day. What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Antt. Follow me on IG, Antt with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way Podcast. This is Anthony Brunel, and this is Carson A. Merck. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
All right. Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then tell them, and then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
It's the Porter Way Podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're going to do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brunel.
Carson A. Merck. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.